Hi everyone, it's Tash from We Offer Wellness, and today I'm with Allyson. Hi Allyson.
Hi Tash.
So your experiences on the platform, at the moment you've got weight management and also a relaxation session, and then where currently they're the only ones, but you're going to be putting on another one that's more tailored towards where you can actually tell me like more of a kind of as a whole.
Yeah, I was going to put one on. I'm hoping to do it later on today. Sort of one that's more sort of tailored, sort of general well-being, I guess. Really, sort of lots of people come and see me, and we can start talking about an issue or a challenge, and by the end of the session, we've kind of moved on to something completely different, sort of thing. So sometimes it's very difficult for people to pinpoint what it actually is.
They might not
They
know.
want sort of some support with. Absolutely, they might not know. They just, people sometimes come to me. I've got a lady recently who came to me saying, I just can't be bothered. I've just lost my get up and go. She couldn't pinpoint it. And it's taken a little while to sort of unpick that. But so I thought something that was a little bit more general that kind of covers anxiety, stress, general sort of motivation, fatigue. And, I tend to mainly work with women. And I think as we all know, there's so many times in our life where we feel like that. We've maybe just had a baby or got young children. We may be working every hour God sends. And then you get to the other end of the scale and the menopause jumps in to say hello. And, there's sort of so many times when we just kind of don't feel right, but we can't really pinpoint it. So I'm hoping this one will cover, all those transitions in life. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like you're kind of saying, we are like holistic beings, so it's hard to pinpoint because there might be lots of different aspects as a whole. You have to look at the person as a whole, don't you? What could be influencing them? Okay, so with the weight management, talk a little bit about that. What does that cover? How do you help people there?
So I help people through hypnotherapy.
Okay.
So although I can work with anybody, I do mainly work with women. And weight is something people often come to me with saying, I've tried everything. Do you know what I mean? I've tried all the different diets, I've tried the exercise, I've tried that, and they're either not losing weight or they are sort of not keeping it off. They don't have the motivation to keep going, sort of thing. And sometimes it's about pinpointing what is actually the root issue. So a lot of hypnotherapy is about finding out what is the root cause of all this. And by getting into your subconscious mind, that's how we find that out. So it's where our beliefs and our habits all live. And sometimes they've been there so long we don't even know they're there anymore. So it's about unpicking, what is your relationship with food like? Yeah, are you an emotional eater? Are you a comfort eater? Did you grow up and weren't allowed to leave the table until everything off your plate had gone? There's so many people who will say that, and
me included.
as parents, and absolutely, and sort of it's like as parents, you mean well, you want your children to eat, but actually, what it instills in us is I have to eat everything on my plate. So therefore, eventually, some people it does, and you get some people who just literally don't stop when they're full; they keep going because they haven't finished. So sometimes we can uncover things like that. Sometimes we can sort of uncover, we should sort of say those psychological issues about why people are eating and what they're eating.
Yeah. What if it's the same kind of thing? Like as in it's really sugary things that they're binging on? Is that right to say?
Got binging on that. So are you eating well all day and then you're getting to the evening and you're on the sofa, Netflix is on, and you've got a packet of biscuits or a packet of chocolate and glass of wine in hand, and suddenly all these calories that you're forgetting about add up. And it's a habit because it's a security blanket. It's what we do. It's how we relax. Yeah, so many of us relax through food. And I'm included. Don't get me wrong, I do. But if you're trying to lose weight and it's not working, sometimes it is about unpicking things and then kind of restructuring your subconscious, restructuring your mindset as to what it is you fancy and whether you need to eat or not. So it's a lot of changing habits. And then through hypnosis, we can sort of start just that gentle guidance, that suggestion of how you want to be and how you want to live your life, how you want to eat, as it were. And I don't recommend, excuse me.
Okay.
I don't recommend any particular diets or anything like that. I mean, personally, I believe we should eat all food groups
Hmm.
in a healthy, moderate way, sort of thing. But yeah, so it's just finding those habits and those deep-rooted beliefs that we have around food, and
Yeah,
to be amazed how many we all have.
yeah, because
And
I
then over
know.
time,
Yeah, because I know that one of them potentially could be like emotional eating, right? So it's like, are you
yeah,
actually hungry or are you emotionally hungry? That's why you're kind of eating.
absolutely, yeah. Are
You're
you bored?
lonely, or yeah, or you're trying to fill
Yeah,
that gap of you haven't got someone around and you're feeling lonely. There's loads of different aspects to it.
yeah.
Do you deal with people that just want to lose weight, or the opposite side, and they need to put on weight?
No, we can look at all aspects of weight management, which is why I tend to sort of refer to it as weight management as opposed to
Mm,
just weight loss, because that, there's all sorts of different scenarios that people might come to you with, or challenges that they've got that are around their weight, their body image, and food even. Some
mm.
people have just generally got difficulties with food and how they feel about eating, how it makes them feel.
Yeah, I know
And
that's a
again,
massive
sort of
topic.
those different, absolutely, and different times, if you're tired, you're going to be eating more. So it could be, why am I eating so much? But actually what it is you're tired and you need more sleep, or it could be that you need to get out and get some fresh air and pick your energy levels up as well,
Mm,
sort of to
yeah.
stop you feeling so sluggish, which is when we tend to go and grab the biscuits and the quick fixes, as it were.
Mm. Yeah, I know that this is like a massive topic that like you said, it's really deep rooted. It can be with like your core beliefs and things like that, from my understanding.
Mm,
Because I've kind of worked with women on, I was going to say the opposite side, but people that struggle with eating disorders and things like that. So I do understand. And obviously that can be a ripple effect and affect your how you bring up your
mm,
children, and then they carry it on. So it's like this whole long
absolutely.
thing that that's it's really important what you do for sure. How many sessions do you feel like is required? And are they all hypnosis every single session? What does it look like?
It's always a mixture. So for the packages that I've got at the moment, I've said 6 weeks for this, which is pretty much an average of how long it would take. The first session often is more of a fact finding sort of one, about me sort of really finding out sort of what issues a client wants to deal with, and me sort of asking questions to kind of, as you say, see if we can discover that root cause, or at least get some way towards doing it. And we have to go through certain sort of housekeeping stuff at the beginning, like sort of next of kin and GP details and all of that, just to keep things safe, really.
Hmm.
So yeah, on average, about 6 sessions for something like this, but we are all different. So,
Mm.
you know, sometimes it takes less, sometimes it takes more, but on average, it's about 6 sessions should do it.
Yeah, and obviously you've got to be quite open, I'm assuming, for hypnotherapy, or do you feel like everyone can be hypnotized? Is that the right word? It's not. Is that the right word? Hypnotized?
Technically, yes,
Right.
technically we can all be hypnotized. Some
Right.
of us are more susceptible than others. So if you're sort of imagining stage hypnotists and entertainment where they're getting people to quack like a duck and do all
Yeah.
sorts of silly things, I can put your mind at rest there. That is nothing to do with what we as clinical hypnotherapists do. So
Hmm.
clinical hypnotherapy is a guided, relaxing, trance-like state where
Mm.
you're highly focused as well. Um, so we are all capable of going into that trance-like state, and we all go into it on a regular basis. An easy one to give as an example is, we've all been in a car driving somewhere, and you
Mm.
arrive and think, "How did I get here?"
Yeah.
Because you've done it on automatic pilot, sort of thing. You've actually gone into a type of trance-like state. In doing that, you've gone on to that automatic pilot.
Hmm.
Um, so sometimes we might get engrossed in a TV show and almost zone out to everything else around us because we're so hyper focused on what we're watching. So
Yeah.
it is something we're all capable of doing, but for it to work, you have to want it to.
Hmm. Yes.
And we all know someone who will say, "I can't relax. You'll never get me to relax." And my answer to that usually is probably not, because if you come in with a challenge for me that
Yeah.
I'm not going to relax you, then I won't, because I can't. Um, I can't force anybody to do anything against their will. So actually, although I guide as the therapist, people are actually on their own journey and their own minds make the decisions. Yeah, so as a therapist, we're there to assist and to guide and to suggest, but you will never do anything that goes against your values or you don't want to do under hypnosis. So
Yeah.
if you come in thinking, I don't want to do this, this won't work, it probably won't.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
but
Okay.
yeah, no, technically we all can.
And then your relaxation sessions, what does that look like?
They're lovely. They're just a treat. They're pure relaxation. Though I have had people, they came about by me talking to a lady who really wanted to address a particular challenge, but was actually quite nervous of having hypnotherapy. She just
Okay.
wasn't quite sure what was going on. So I suggested that we just had a short session that was just relaxation, where we wouldn't be addressing any issues, but she would just get to understand how it feels to
Mhm.
go into hypnosis. And we did that, and it was really successful, and she really enjoyed it and immediately sort of went on to have the treatment that she wanted. And I kind of thought, oh, that's quite a good idea. So I use them for people who are slightly nervous before
Okay.
treatment as a first one to see if they like it. But then other people sort of started going, well, actually, can I just book one of those anyway? I just really fancy, we often sort of think, oh, I'm going to treat myself to a massage or a facial or something. But actually, a nice relaxing hypnotherapy session is really enjoyable. And
Mm.
I usually sort of have a chat with that person ahead of time, just to sort of have a chat about what is relaxing to them.
Okay.
So would they like, me to sort of take them on their guide? It's like a guided meditation. So
Mhm.
would you like to go to a nice tropical beach? Or would you actually find relaxing, walking in the hills in the countryside more relaxing? I've had one lady who wanted to go to a really old traditional library.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, challenge set. And
Yeah, you're
actually, I
putting on the
didn't end up
spot.
doing that one in the end, sort of thing. So I always have a bit of a chat with people to say, what is relaxing to you? And also just to check they don't have any fears or phobias, because the last thing you want to do is sort of
Mm.
have somebody who's frightened of water near water, someone who doesn't like heights in a high situation, and such. So I always sort of check that type of thing ahead as
Sounds
well,
lovely.
to make sure that there's no jump scares in the middle.
Yes, imagine
um,
that.
but yeah, yeah, no,
Is
it
it
is
online?
just like I can do it online or I can do it in person,
Oh,
whichever
okay.
is easiest.
And
So I
where are
work.
you based?
I am based in West Sussex,
Yep.
on the south coast. So I have got therapy rooms in Hove and in Stenning.
Oh, cool.
So on either of those two locations, I can see people face to face, or I can jump online as we are now.
Okay, amazing. Is there anything else that people might need to expect or anything like that, or maybe some of the benefits, or it's completely varied, or anything else you want to add people
I
should
think
know?
sort of like it's almost a sort of if you come into it with a this is going to work and this is really something I want to do, you will get the best benefits
Hmm.
out of it. And I think it's a lovely way of trying to address some things without sort of medication and things. So I would always say to somebody, you should always get guidance from a doctor or dietitian or whatever with regards to sort of like what you're eating and your diet and things. This is more about the mindset around it.
Mm.
Um, Most people can be hypnotized, though. If you are on any some mental health medication, would
Hmm.
contravene from having hypnotherapy, but we could privately discuss that if somebody wasn't sure. And again, everything that is said is completely confidential
Hmm.
in the sessions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would need to say. And I do not pregnant as well. If you're pregnant, it's not the best idea.
Oh,
Much as it
it's
sounds lovely, well,
hmm.
certainly not in the first 3 months. We
Oh,
don't sort of recommend that people in the first 3 months. So, but maybe later in pregnancy is
okay.
something that we could consider then.
Oh, how strange. But okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
That's
it's more to do with the fact that it's almost a protection thing, really, in a lot of ways. That
mm,
those first weeks of pregnancy can be very um, fragile at the best of times, and I would hate for somebody to have difficulties afterwards and
mm,
start associating it with
Yeah.
with any therapy that they've had.
Yeah.
So anything like that should always be guided from midwives and things anyway.
If you're interested in any of Alyson's experiences, then just find her on the Wheel for Wellness platform. So thanks so much. It's really, really interesting. Thank you.